Welcome to another season of W&L Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. On our first show of the new school year, we'll speak with men's soccer coach Mike Singleton, field hockey captain Olivia Hewitt, and football captain Kyle Perel. But we start with a quick look back at the weekend in Washington and Lee athletics. Women's soccer downed Mary Washington 3-2 and then beat 24th ranked Rowan 1-0 in overtime. Men's soccer fell 5-2 to 8th ranked Johns Hopkins, but rebounded to defeat Mary Washington 1-0 in double OT. Volleyball went 2-1 in 3 5-set matches at the W&L Invitational, knocking off Gettysburg and Meredith before losing to Southern Virginia. Field hockey split a pair of contests in Ohio, topping Kenyon 1-0 and then falling in overtime to Denison by the same scoreline. Football dropped a 26-14 decision to Dickinson. Men's cross country took first place at Shippensburg's Piper Challenge, and women's cross country placed fourth at the Virginia Tech Invitational. Joining me now is men's soccer coach Mike Singleton. Mike, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You've started off the year with 4 tough opponents in 2 tournaments on the road. You've won 3 of those matches. How pleased have you been with the first few games of 2019?
Well, we're quite happy with how we started out, especially having graduated such a big, impactful class and bringing in so many new faces, trying to get everybody on the same page and really execute our game plan. Has been a very sort of tough challenge for everybody, but the guys have stepped up and really put ourselves in a good position to go forward throughout the rest of the year.
W&L graduated one of the best senior classes in program history, a group that made 4 NCAA tournament appearances and set the program record for wins. You've got a lot of talent left behind and some promising first years, but how do you replace a group like the seniors who graduated last spring?
Well, it's something where they did so much both on and off the field in leadership, and it's more about their leadership and what they did for the culture of the team than it really is for what they did on the field, which might be surprising given those results, but it really is true. The new guys have been in that, the returning guys have been in that culture, and the new guys are learning that culture now through the returners. I expect some of the role players from previous years are now stepping up their game, and they have done so already. And they're going to have to fill some big shoes from those guys who graduated. And we have a really talented freshman class that has already shown great things on the field, and we expect will get even better as the season continues.
Prior to Saturday's match against Johns Hopkins, the W&L defense had a shutout streak of well over 1,000 minutes. What has made the Generals so strong in the back third?
Well, Jack Rollins and Seth Chapman and Michael Nick in goal, they're really a threesome that are so smart and steady. And then our 2 captains, Eric Recchi and Griffin Scott, who are our outside backs, they all know each other very well. They know the expectations very well. And we can really trust in them to do the right thing about 99.9% of the time. So they really complement each other extremely well, and I think now that we got over that hiccup, we hopefully can continue a next streak to go even further.
5 of your next 6 matches are out of conference, and then it's nothing but ODAC play in the month of October. What are the keys to navigating the remainder of the regular season schedule?
Well, it's almost as if we have 2 seasons within our season schedule. In September, it's all out of conference games, and then October is the ODAC schedule. And it sets up 2 very different goals for us. One is putting ourselves in a position to possibly get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. And then if we don't fare as we should in September, we have to really focus in October and make sure that we try to win the conference and get the automatic qualifier to the NCAA tournament. So it's something that the guys have learned through past history is every game, whether it be in September and October, we have to perform our best. And that's a tough challenge as classes are difficult and midterms come in and we run through the whole season, but it is something that we work on, we talk about a lot, and they really do train for trying to separate themselves from the outside world and make sure they're bringing their best performance each and every game.
Mike, thank you for joining us. Best of luck throughout the fall.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
With me in the studio is Olivia Hewitt, senior field hockey captain from St. Louis. Olivia, welcome to the show.
Hi.
The Generals struggled away from home in 2018, but you got your first win of the new season at Kenyon on Saturday. How important is that kind of road victory for the team?
Yeah, so that one was very important for a variety of reasons. It being our first victory on the road was really big because, like you said, in the past we have struggled, and that win just showed that we can play on other surfaces and we can compete with those really good teams when we're away, and we can overcome those kind of obstacles. And secondly, it was really big for our sophomore goalie, Sarah Amel, being her first shutout. It showed how excellent she's really done, and she's really stepped up to the plate this year, so it's really exciting.
The Generals also have a strong rookie class. You've got several first years either starting or coming off the bench. With so many young players on the field, how are you approaching your leadership position as a captain?
So it's really exciting that we have so many first years that are starting, that are playing. It's really made our upperclassmen compete. So as a leader, the way I have to approach the season is I want the first years to feel as confident as possible when they step out into the field. And one of our main goals of the season is to have really strong team chemistry. And I'm a firm believer that strong team chemistry off the field and building those relationships off the field really translate to on the field. So by making it an inclusive environment for everyone, whether it's a first year or a senior, I want everyone to feel comfortable playing with each other and everyone to feel confident.
In addition to your defensive responsibilities, you have a very specific role with the Washington and Lee offense. Tell us about your involvement with penalty corners and how important those plays are in your sport.
So I'm considered the designated inserter for our corners. When a corner foul is called, I huddle the team up that are on offensive corners and give them the play, and then I run back and I push or hit the ball in and basically start the play. These penalty corners are really important to the game. It's really the only time in all of field hockey where there's something that's set that you can run a set play, so it's really special, and it gives the offense an opportunity to be numbers up right at the goal, and if they're successful, it results in a goal. So they're very, very important to the game.
Conference play begins in early October. How can your remaining non-conference games help you prepare for the ODAC schedule?
So the teams that we are playing that are non-conference games are really strong teams, similar in style to our biggest competitors that are in conference. They're very aggressive and they play on the same type of field that our in-conference teams play on. So every time we play an out-of-conference game, it's really just preparing us for those really tough and crucial games that are ODAC conference games.
Olivia, thank you for joining us. Good luck to the team this fall.
Thank you for having me.
I'm joined by Kyle Perel, senior football captain from North Potomac, Maryland. Kyle, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I know Saturday's loss to Dickinson was a disappointing way to start the season. What have the Generals learned from that game as you prepare for Sewanee this weekend?
You know, I think for us it's all about a sense of urgency. You know, we kind of went in that game. We knew what they were bringing to the table. We knew we had a very talented team coming back, and we knew that they were going to be ready for us. Credit to them. They executed their game plan. But I think we know what we need to do. I think we know we need to bring it coming up against Sewanee, who we know from years past they're going to bring it, and we just have to be ready for that.
This is your third year starting at center. Yeah. Timing is such a big part of an option offense, and that all starts with the center quarterback exchange. Yeah. How do you view your role on the field?
You know, back in the day when, coming in as a freshman center, I was told, I have the keys to the car. And usually that's said to the quarterback, but if you were to think about the Jennies offense as a car, I start the engine, right? So we're turning the key, and we're getting the car ready to roll. And for us, that's why it has to be perfect every play. There's no time or there's no place to mess up that snap, because if we do, we're going to set the offense back, and we just can't have that.
What can we expect to see from the Generals offense as the season goes along?
I think credit to Coach Jones and Coach LaRose and Coach Fox. They've come up with a revamped version of the Jennies offense. I think you're going to see a lot of what makes us in terms of physical downhill football. But I think you're also going to see some twists, whether that be motions, whether that be a larger passing game. But I'm really excited about the ideas that we've implemented for the season.
ODAC play is just over a week away. What do the Generals need to do to get back to the top of the conference in 2019?
For us, it's all about going 1-0 every week. I mean, it's easy to sit here and look at the end of the season and say we want to win that ODAC championship. The reality is we have to focus on ourselves, and we have to take this on a week-by-week basis. We know we have the talent in the room to get the job done. It's a matter of if we're willing to do it or not, if we're willing to take the time to execute, to play our hardest. And I think with the people that we have, with the leadership that we have in place, moving forward, we're going to be just fine.
Kyle, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck to the Generals this year.
Thank you for having me.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. Men's soccer will take on Emory on Friday afternoon, while volleyball competes at Mary Washington later in the evening. On Saturday, field hockey plays host to Dickinson, and football will renew its rivalry with Sewanee at Wilson Field. Men's and women's cross country head to Salem for the preview at Green Hill, and volleyball continues action at the UMW Classic with matches against Johns Hopkins and Virginia Wesleyan. Moving on to Sunday, field hockey will meet Ursinus at the W&L Turf Field. There's also a home soccer doubleheader at Watfield as the women face Sewanee and the men square off against third-ranked Oglethorpe. Also this weekend, men's and women's golf travel to West Palm Beach, Florida for the NCAA Fall Preview. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.